Everybody. Nice to see you. I'm Beck Wales.
And I am Amit Prakash. Together, every month we come to you, we bring you the Power of Two, our monthly live show where Beck and I both come on some unique topics and share our experiences, our case studies, and our wisdom of having been there in the business, right?
Totally right. And I think between us, we've got over 60 years of experience in the sales, coaching, and psychometric fields. So, without any further ado, not all business is good business. This is a topic that Amit and I talk about constantly, whether we're talking about it with the people that we're training or mentoring or coaching. And we kind of wanted to dive a little bit deeper today because it's a global thing. And it doesn't matter where you're sitting anywhere in the world. Sometimes, as salespeople, we just think, oh, a piece of business, get it in. But what Amit and I want to do today is really get you thinking about, is all business good business? So, Amit, over to
Yes.
you. Let's kick us off.
Oh, yes. I think, Beck, for all of us in our audience, this topic is so much important because as business owners, as sales professionals, as leaders, managers, we are so much excited and enthusiastic of closing every piece of business that comes our way. And that leads to many a times disappointment, waste of time, energy, effort, money, resources. And that's only because we are not focusing or we're not completely focused on what are those right businesses for us.
Right.
And and let's say, for example, quality over quantity. So if your business, your product or your service is into quality delivery,
Right.
and if you're trying to get after every single piece of business because you need to achieve your budget, your forecast, your target, you will end up embarrassing yourself and getting demotivated and exhausted because there will be businesses that won't be needing quality product or service. They're looking at quantity. They're not looking at quality. So in this case, those customers who are looking at quantity product or the quantity of service, they are not your right business, and don't waste your time on that. And vice versa. If you're in a wholesale business, if you're in a bulk business, if you're not into a quality business, but you're in a quantity business, but then if you're trying to run after customers or businesses that are looking for quality products and quality services, you will either end up disappointing them, even if you make a sale, or you will end up wasting your time, effort, money, and resources because they are not your ideal client. What do you think, Beck?
Yeah, full on. Uh, Quality versus quantity in so many different aspects of our business is so important, right? Um, something else that I want to add to Amit's piece is creating lifelong loyal customers. If you're focused on just churning out a sale, you're not focused on that return of that recommendation of business, either the business that you would get back from that same customer or anything that's referred to somebody else. And also then that then becomes, if it's not focused on being a lifelong loyal customer, then chances are you're looking at a less profitable piece of business in the long run rather than building trusting, worthwhile, long term relationships. And we all know how much more profitable return business is than trying to get out there and find new business each time. So think about that customer lifelong value.
Oh, absolutely. That's so amazing. It's so meaningful that if you're looking at the lifetime value, you will never be running after all the businesses because
Right.
you would want to have a certain number of clients who you would be wanting them to repeat and refer. Same kind of clients that they can refer you that you needed. leading to that, I think it's also important to keep in mind about your reputation management, isn't it? Reputation, if you're after all the businesses, and if some of those businesses are forcing you or compelling you to compromise on your ethics, your core values in your business, you might win them in the beginning. You might get some business out of it, but then it will never make your business sustainable and profitable over a period of time, because the moment you are compromising on your ethics, your core values, it will show up to your other ideal clients that you want to serve, and they will start to move away from your business, leaving a big dent in your business.
Frightening, absolutely frightening. And that's the last thing you want. Because remember, we're talking about not all business is good business. I want to talk about customer mismatch. So often I hear salespeople talking to me about right at the end line when you know we're ready to kind of seal the deal, and the customer goes, "Oh," for whatever reason, there's an objection that comes in. Your rates are too high, your product's not right, whatever it might be. Go back to that qualification process right in the very beginning. Are you matching with the right customers for your product? Or are you just seeing a lead and going churn out a proposal? Either way, please make sure that you are targeting the people that have the business for you. If they don't have the budget for you, or their customer, whoever's coming to you, buying from you, whatever it is, if they're not matching with you, it's never going to work. And therefore, think of the harm that that customer will do to you and your business, because they're going to be dissatisfied, right? They're going to have complaints the whole time. Nothing's going to be right, and every complaint that you have loses money, because it's the whether it's a refund or the resources to go through working that out and getting it, fixed, to make a satisfied customer or non-customer. It all kind of takes resources. Another piece that I want to talk about is that sales to untrustworthy partners. So this is really, conducting business with partners or customers who have had a history of dishonesty or unreliability, which results in failed transactions, unpaid invoices, legal disputes. That business ain't good business, my friends. So thinking about this research, this qualification research that you can do is so important. Nobody wants a bad customer. But sometimes, depending on what kind of company you work for, you may have history data. And for that, if it was me, I would be listing in there customers that aren't so favorable, so that then it kind of stops you from next time.
All right, so moving on, I would say, again, not every business is good business. And you've already got some nuggets out of it so far, but then there are more to it. Because in my experience, what I've seen is if you run after every single piece of business, every single piece of sales, you may end up into some legal and regulatory compliance management as well. Because, for example, I've come across a business which is into events management, and just to win over a big piece of business, they compromised on not having the license to play music in the event. And God knows from where the authorities came in, and not just the event was stopped, but they were penalized, and that led to a huge erosion of the brand image of this event management company as well, where I don't want to name, because they're quite popular as well. So just think of it, the moment you are compromising on any of these regulatory compliances, legal compliances, just in order to take that risk of not following it and getting that piece of business because you're so interested in getting that business, it may end up in a long term of impact, negative impact on your business. So think of it. This was just an example. It could be in your business with some other case study as well.
Yeah, that's disastrous, isn't it? But so innocently and easily done.
Yeah.
You know, what if we think about unhealthy competition? You know,
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure we've all got examples of that, right?
Absolutely.
Kind of engaging in, I don't know, like these aggressive sales tactics. That's not good business. Undercutting, you know, your competitors' prices, or offering something that, you know, basically it comes so hard from that bottom line. You know, there's an example that I love to use when I'm thinking about additions for or value adds to put in with salespeople. So where they can negotiate with certain things and kind of start. I know this kind of sounds a little 101, but I think sometimes we think the bigger, the better, the bolder, but in fact, what costs you the least amount with the most amount of impact without hurting and being aggressive in this fighting war over what the competitor's doing. This isn't an auction to buy a home. You know, this is a negotiation or a discussion that you might be having with your customer, and this hurt of an industry that it could do with you absolutely aggressively kind of undercutting and fighting your competitors. It also doesn't show a good business moral and standards that you have. So be careful of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Abhay, that's so much important. Is in our experiences of managing business, we would have seen so much happening in the space of unhealthy competition. Is simplest of the example if is that if you are getting into a price war with your competitor, and let's say your target. Let's do some maths here. Let's say your target is $100,000 and your unit price for a product or services is $10,000. You need 10 clients in order to hit your target. But then if you get into an unhealthy competition and slash away your rate by, let's say, 30%, you will end up selling it at $7,000. And in place of what it will lead to is, in place of 10 customers, now you will need more than 14 customers to hit your target. So maybe that you've got your first 10 customers quite easily, but to get those additional 4 customers to hit your $100,000 target will be very, very difficult. And ultimately, you will end up not hitting your target. So think about it. If you really want to go the easy way, then price war is something that you can go for, but it may not end up in what you really want to achieve by end of the year.
Yeah. I love that you did that maths just off the top of your head. That was really good. You know, it kind of leads me on to, you know, if we talk about unhealthiness, sustainability and ethical concerns, you know, pushing sales that are not environmentally sustainable, whatever that looks like in your industry, or ethically responsible as well, you know, really damages the business's long-term viability and also the reputation, but also your reputation as a salesperson as well. So this is another aspect that is so overlooked when it comes to is business good business? Is all business good business? And if you've got to go down an unethical route, I don't think I need to answer any more of that question, right?
I would say superpower save your business.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's so true. And I'm hoping that you're getting the importance of it, the urgency to really understand whether to run after all the pieces of business out in the market, because there will be so many different kinds of people, so many different kinds of customers, so many different types of businesses that you would try to run after, because you have, and it's understood that you have your targets to achieve, you have your business to run, you have your profits to make, you have your teams to pay salaries and your cost of doing business, all understood. But then try to understand the repercussions, sorry, the repercussions that it may cause to your business, which may even lead you to winding up your business, because sometimes regulatory compliances, brand erosion, reputation management, if there is a dent in those, it's very difficult to really run that business. And you get really, the other thing is that when you get into such a race, you will get distracted from your core business. You,
Right.
let's say, if you started the business with an intention of not just making a profit, but also to creating an impact, providing a solution to the society, to people around you who can really benefit out of it. And if you are getting into that kind of competition where you have to dilute on your quality of your product and services, where you really go, because when you take things up into lower price brackets or segments, you will somewhere have to compromise on the delivery as well. Because then you will look into, okay, I've taken business at a lower price. Now what I need to do is to cut down my costs. And in
Yeah.
order to cut down your costs, you may end up compromising on the core values of your business, on what exactly led you to start your business, first of all. So that's so important to really keep that in mind. It's better to do an exercise where you identify your ideal client, your absolute niche, where you can really be aggressive, finding, because once you have identified that, and when you go aggressive in that direction, you will find your ideal clients. You will never have to compromise on your quality. You will never have to compromise on going out of the way and get into any legalities. And we can actually teach you that.
Oh, can't we what?
Yeah, this topic is so important.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, thank you. I hope by considering all of these points that Amit and I have brought to you, whether you're a salesperson or you're a business leader, you can have a better understanding of that importance of really discerning which opportunities to pursue and which to pass on, in order to maintain your own integrity and long-term business success, both professionally and personally in business as well. So ultimately, when you say no to a customer, always welcome the opportunity for them to come back another time. It may be that the circumstances are different for you from now till then, or when they are coming back to you, and that then when they do come back, maybe their business is good business.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I think this is, and I can share one of the examples, like not naming the name of the company, but when they first reached out to us, their budget was so low that they were just looking for a ready-made program, just a run of the mill,
right,
and I had to literally politely decline that offer, because when I started my company, the whole core business ethic was all around adding deeper value, going into the discovery, the delivery, and ensuring all those are determined to be executed as well. And I had to say no, and of course, politely. But then they came back after a couple of months with a different program where they exactly wanted to go through the whole 3D process of identifying the whole problem, having the
nice.
solution, and getting the implementation done. So your customers today or tomorrow will understand your value, what you have set out to do and be for the society and for people. So keep that in mind, that not every business always is a good business.
Absolutely. And in fact, if you really think about it, and hindsight is 2020 vision, you can go back and assess whether that business was as good as what you thought it would be. And then learn from that. Use it for your skills for next time.